Right now, NASA says there is 3.2 trillion tons of CO2 in the atmosphere. That number is growing rapidly every day. Climate change exists. You can ignore it, but it will not ignore you. Today I will be talking about what climate change is, the causes and effect it will have on us, and what we can do to help the cause. Let's start off with what is climate change. The Webster Dictionary defines it as a long-term rise in average global temperature of the Earth. Climate change occurs when greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane trap heat inside of the Earth's atmosphere, creating the greenhouse effect. Here is an example of what climate change looks like. Think about what happens when you open your car door on a hot day after the windows have been rolled up. Heat from the sun enters the car, but the frame of the car prevents the heat from escaping. To a small extent, this is a representation of what happens during global warming. The causes. According to the IPCC, these are the biggest factors in climate change: burning coal, natural gases, and fossil fuels, driving, the demand and usage of single-use items, pollution and deforestation, flying in airplanes, animal waste, and chlorofluorocarbon emissions. Next is power plants. Power plants are the largest greenhouse gas emitters and largest contributors in rising global temperatures. The Industrial Revolution. According to points of view in June, the Industrial Revolution has caused greenhouse gases emissions to skyrocket. There may be a natural cycle we go through as humans, but during the Industrial Revolution, all the factories and textile mills caused the natural gas emissions to skyrocket, and humans are causing the effects to be much more drastic. Continuing on with the effects it'll have on us, our ice caps are melting, and 413 billion tons melted between billion tons of water, melted between 1993 and 2016. In May, Business Insider said, Greenland's ice sheet is melting 6 times faster than it was in the 1980s, while the average annual Antarctic ice melt has jumped from 40 billion tons to 252 billion tons. The runoff water that melts into the ocean is fresh, drinkable water that is being contaminated by the ocean, rising ocean levels. According to NASA, since good record keeping in the late 1800s, the ocean has risen 8 inches. Business Insider in May 2019 says if emissions continue unabated, global sea levels will rise by 6.5 feet by 2100 from melting ice alone. That will be 1.8 million kilometers in size of water will cover the surface of coastal cities like Shanghai and New York. This is an area larger than France, Germany, Spain, and the UK combined, thus displacing 187 million people, causing a mass migration and mass homelessness and crime. The global temp has increased 1.62 degrees Fahrenheit. A 1.5 degree global change is significant because it takes a vast amount of heat to warm all the oceans, atmosphere, and land by that much. In the past, a 1 to 2 degree drop was all it took to plunge the Earth into the pre-ice age. A 5 degree drop was enough to bury a large part of North America under a towering mass of ice 20,000 years ago, according to NASA. What we can do. Right now, all over the world, young people are protesting their governments and demanding action. We can help by writing to our senators and congresspeople to help get the U.S. into the Green New Deal. We can also recycle, use reusable items, eat less meat, demand change from the government. They work for the people, not the other way around. In conclusion, I talked about what climate change is, the causes and the effects, and what we can do to help the cause. You can ignore climate change, but it will not ignore you. Thank you.